Harris and Governor. At Texas Commerce, we've been building business relationships for over 90 years in Beaumont. Like at StatCare, where we furnished loans to build a mobile health lab. At Rose, where we supplied financing for a new dry cleaning facility. And at Conn's, where we're providing cash management as they expand across the Southwest. Visit today and see what a Texas Commerce relationship can do for you.
This place marinates, batters, seasons.
This place has a really big problem with people who eat duck.
Or turkey. Do chicken. Popeye's famous chicken.
Chicken of all kinds.
Why bother with turkey when our chicken's never frozen?
Chicken, spicy chicken.
And bursting with New Orleans seasoning.
Chicken.
And why do turkey when right now 12 pieces and 6 buttery soft biscuits are just $9.99?
Good chicken, fresh chicken.
12 pieces, 6 biscuits, just $9.99.
Popeye's famous chicken.
Don't be a turkey.
This place cooks.
Chicken.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Doctors Ronald and Donald Montgomery, DPM, St. Elizabeth Hospital, and First Bank and Trust. Now let's go inside the Locker Room for your first look at high school football scores and highlights with Brian May and Jeff Schultz.
So for the final time during the regular season, we are opening up the Locker Room for your first look at scores and highlights. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Week 10 of the season. Brian May.
And I'm Jeff Schultz. He's Brian. I'm Jeff. We've done that for 10 weeks now.
And hard to believe, we are now finally through the regular season of this year.
Yeah, and what a night to end it on. A little cold, a little rainy when it started out, but nice weather at the end, and nice cold football weather, and a good game over at Memorial Stadium.
And I tell you, you're going to have to bear with us tonight. As always seems to be the case on Week 10, there are a lot of what-ifs, and something's got to happen in order for us to make it in. We're going to try and...
yeah, we'll try to piece together the puzzle, and Brian's good at puzzles. I've seen him put them together. So we'll try to work that out for you tonight. One big question mark over at Memorial Stadium tonight: could SFA end up on a perfect season?
I was about to say, you have the first piece of the puzzle, and this one looking very good for Marler and the Eagles.
Yeah, and first time in school history they could probably end up on a perfect season at 10-0. If there was one team, though, that Richard Marler and the Eagles might not want to face in the 10th week of this season, it could be the Newton Eagles. After all, SFA had a perfect record at 9-0. They were trying to become the first team in school history, as I mentioned, to complete the regular season at 10-0. But Newton has presented problems for the Eagles in the past 6 seasons, winning all 6 of those meetings. And with a playoff spot already wrapped up and a district championship in hand, SFA had only a perfect season to strive for. Would that be enough incentive to win? We'll go over there, and we got some fans, I think.
There you go.
We do too. That's why we're here, and we're here to show it to you. Cheerleaders, well, they love it. SFA, though, they struggled on their first possession, but after a Newton turnover, Chad Johnson to DJ Richards. And DJ, he's done it all year. He'll go up the middle on the pass and go 53 yards for the touchdown, but the ref doesn't agree with it. He says, bring it back, and penalties would plague him all night. Later in the second quarter, though, Johnson would hook up with Armand Hill, and Armand goes a nice gain inside the 20, but again, those SFA and those refs couldn't keep the flags in their pocket. They're going to bring this one back, and Richard Marler doesn't look good on his 10-0 season. They would eventually find the end zone, though. After a Newton fumble, DJ Richards scoots in from 15 yards out, straight up the middle. 7-0 SFA with 6:44 remaining in the half. The Eagles would move again. Johnson, nice catch here by Richards. He knew he was going to get popped, but nice concentration and a good catch there. And then what do? You give it back to Richards. 30 yards, straight up the middle for the touchdown. The extra point was blocked. It was 13-0 SFA, just over a minute left in the half. Putting on the final touches of the first half now, Johnson hits Aaron Babineau, a nice 15-yard gain. And 2 plays later, Johnson, he's such a strong quarterback, and look at the determination to get into the end zone. He will take it over the line for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion, they would go for it, and it was good. It was 21-0 SFA at the half. And SFA, the first perfect season in school history. The final now from Memorial Stadium. 39-6, they win it over Newton, and now the playoff pairing set. Let's see, SFA will face Hampshire Finette next Friday night at 7:30 at Port Neches Groves, and SFA 10-0 on this regular season.
Well, I tell you what, anytime you can pull off a 10-0 season, our congratulations going out to Richard Marler and the boys. Jeff, this time of year, as we mentioned, whenever you discuss, though, what's going on and who's going to make it to the playoffs, the most often used word is if, and that was certainly the case in Jasper tonight. The Bulldogs hosting Silsbee. If Jasper won, but by less than 2 points, Silsbee wins district. Jasper doesn't even make the playoffs. If Jasper wins by 17 or less, they make the playoffs as the runners-up. If the Dogs win by 18 or more, the district champ Silsbee gets the runner-up spot.
Gotcha.
Sound confusing?
Yeah.
Well, it is. So let's just head to Jasper to see who won, and then I'll fill you in on the details. The Dogs and Tigers. We'll pick up highlights of this ball game. The Tigers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak against Jasper. Second quarter, 7-0 Silsbee, and the Tigers threatening for more. 4th and 3 from the 8th, but Cedric Spearman's pass tipped by an alert Bobby Lively. Quarterback Alan Scott now knows what to do on a nice drive here. Hits the big tight end Lawrence Smith. First down. A couple of plays later, Scott decides to air it out. He's going to throw this one as far downfield as he can get it. Heave that baby down there. Tony Gilbert with a great diving catch inside the 10, a 40-yard gain, but the Tiger defense stiffens and stomps Jasper. Keith Collins with a nice tackle. The Bulldogs settled for a 19-yard field goal by Alan Spots. 7-3 Silsbee at the half, but the Bulldogs come back in the second half and win this ball game by 10 points. So Jasper now in the playoffs. They win it by a final score of 17-7. That is, Silsbee the district champs. Jasper goes in as a runner-up, and still a lot to talk about in 23-4. But again, congratulations, Jasper making the playoffs and Silsbee already in. So we'll have to wait and see who these two teams are going to meet next week.
Yes, Silsbee, I believe, will face Nederland next Friday night as a runner-up out of 24-4A. West Orange Stark will then face Jasper as a runner-up out of 23-4A. So
I knew you'd have this for us.
Folks, I've got it all right up here. If you just stick around, we'll tell you all about it. But we're going to take our first time out of this final week of the season. I'll get it out. I'll be hooked on phonics when we get back. And when we return, we'll see if the Vidor Pirates can end a season-long losing skid.
We'll also take you to Deer Park, a huge showdown between the Deer and Thomas Jefferson Yellow Jackets. Folks, stay right where you are. The Locker Room will return after this.
Give me more.
Okay, at Morris Moore, we give you more to choose from, like these Chevrolet extended cab pickups in which Chevy owners reported higher new vehicle quality.
Give me more.
We've got it. At Morris Moore, we give you more service with this 1993 Roadmaster sedan, a classic premium Buick with a distinctive blend of power, prestige, and style.
Give me more. I'm Morris Moore, and we really do give you more for less with a more better deal.
Morris Moore Chevrolet Buick Geo in Silsbee and Buna.
You're looking at some of the most sophisticated tools in medical science. The hands of doctors at St. Elizabeth Hospital. With the most advanced technology at their fingertips, they hold fast to the fragile balance of life. These are skilled, dedicated men and women whose touch is the beginning of all healing. St. Elizabeth Hospital, a century of dedication, a lifetime of caring.
A word about First Bank and Trust. Growing. For almost 40 years, First Bank and Trust has been a good neighbor in Groves, growing quietly and carefully to become the largest independent bank in Southeast Texas. Now we're growing your way in Beaumont, taking care of customers the way a hometown bank should, with ATM and drive-through service, Saturday hours, and the most experienced, responsive loan officers in Southeast Texas. First Bank and Trust, growing your way, now at Phelan and Major in Beaumont.
Well, welcome back to the Locker Room. Brian May along with Jeff Schultz. You know, Jeff, usually the final week of the regular season, at least in 22-5A, is always reserved for the Beaumont Bowl, but really not so this year because this game, that game tomorrow is secondary to what happened tonight. Yeah, we usually see Westbrook and Central in the playoffs, and a big game at the end of the season, but tonight it really doesn't mean anything. Tomorrow, as we'll find out, and game wardens and hunters take note. Contrary to popular belief, deer season open tonight instead of tomorrow morning. As graceful and gentle as a deer may appear, the Yellow Jackets felt no sympathy tonight as they lowered their sights on their 22-5A opponent. Now, TJ, fresh off their playoff-clinching win over Central last week, playing for sheer pride tonight. Deer Park, on the other hand, would enter the playoffs with a win over TJ. The Deer still reeling, no doubt, from the 59-14 beating they received from TJ last season. Perhaps payback on their mind, and a playoff spot not a bad incentive either. And wouldn't you like to mount that buck on your wall? Wow, Boone and Crockett. Yeah. Pretty good for you hunters out there. First play of the game. Now TJ starting on their own 5-yard line. This guy's been doing it all season. Lyndon Henry, they give it to him, and Lyndon, 95 yards straight up the middle. Nobody's going to catch Big Lyndon. It's his 14th touchdown of the year. It took 23 seconds for Lyndon to go 95 yards. Not a very good 100, though. Not a very good 100 time. 7-0 TJ, and the Yellow Jackets
looking menacing. But Deer Park then takes over and controls the ball for a 14-play, 5-minute drive. Quarterback Daniel Hoy hits Bryn Childers, his tight end, for a 12-yard gain, and 2 plays later, they give it to the junior, Russell Medley, around the left side, 15 yards, and he's excited. A touchdown. It was 7-7 in the first, and this one shaping up to be a good ball game, but TJ would take the ball, and they'd go on a ball control, time-consuming drive. The next time they touch the ball, Damon West out to Keto Means, a nice 3-yard gain, and 4 plays later, West in the pocket will hit Elijah Burkins on a screen pass, and with some blockers in front of him and some room to run, Burkins breaks a couple of tackles. Now watch the referee. Hey,
whoa.
Nice clue, but he's up, he's okay, and it's a touchdown. The extra point, though, no good, so it was 13-7 TJ in the first half, and the final now from Deer Park. If Deer Park wins this one, Central not in the playoffs, and Deer Park pulls it off. 27-13 is the final, so LaPorte, TJ, and Deer Park will go to the playoffs out of 22-5A.
Sorry about that, Central Jaguar fans, but that's what they talk about, taking care of your own business earlier in the season. Jeff, we're going to stay in 22-5A for the winless Vidor Pirates the entire 1993 season. Could be summed up in 2 words. Spoiler roll. The Pirates 0-9 so far this year, but with a chance tonight to knock off the #1 team in the district, the LaPorte Bulldogs. The Bulldogs coming into this ballgame 8-1 overall, 6-0 in district, but needing a win tonight to outright clinch a district title from Pirate Land. Vidor Stadium, we will pick up action in this one with the Pirates busting on through first quarter. No score. The Bulldogs inside the 5. Senior quarterback Jeremy Lawrence opts to keep the ball. It is a good call. Touchdown LaPorte. They're up 7-0. Second quarter, here's a good play. Doesn't get any points off of it, but watch this. Coming right through your living room. Lawrence to the air, finds a wide open Chris Anderson, and folks, look out for the family dog. This one, that's what it's like to be on the sidelines. Nice photography. Pick up at 26. The Bulldogs within scoring distance. Watch the great defense. Now that one by Trey Singleton breaks up the pass. Next play, Lawrence, but a perfectly timed hit by Tim Franklin. Good defense. LaPorte had to settle for a Michael Waddle 37-yard field goal. 10-0 Bulldogs at the half. We'll go to the third quarter now. Opening drive of the third quarter, as a matter of fact. LaPorte caps off an impressive 9-play drive. Lawrence again calls his own number and scores from a couple out. 17-0 LaPorte over Vidor. And I tell you what, there's just no stopping LaPorte. They have no weaknesses on this team. The final from Vidor tonight, a good ball game by the Pirates, but again, really no weaknesses for LaPorte. There is your final. 24-0. The LaPorte Bulldogs wind up with a perfect, unblemished district record, so they are the outright champs in 22-5A. And then I'll sit back and watch what happens. Although again, tomorrow's Beaumont Bowl, regardless what happens with Central and Westbrook, Central out. So LaPorte again champs 22-5A.
Yeah, and another tough season for Vidor, but again, they play in one of the toughest districts in the state in 22-5A, and you know, it's tough to beat those guys, LaPorte.
Well, they have so many numbers to deal with. They've got more kids coming out every year for football. It really is tough.
Yeah, it really is. And we're going to take our one more quick time out, but when the locker room continues, we'll pay a visit to the playoff-bound Hampshire Finette Longhorns as they close out the regular season against Huffman-Hargrave.
Plus, from Longhorns to Mustangs, we're going to West Orange Stark as the Ponies and Indians finish up in a wild one, the locker room. We'll be right back.
When I got pregnant with Timmy 10 years ago, we almost chose not to bring him into the world. We were young and unmarried. We didn't have much money, and at the time it seemed like the right decision. But now, every time I look at him, I can't imagine life without him.
Life. What a beautiful choice.
Parents. I tried to tell them to get the furnace inspected, but they wouldn't listen. Now it's broken, and I'm freezing my diapers off.
No matter what kind of furnace you have, don't wait for a cold front. Call Carrier. We're the inside guys.
Get a free 5-year parts and labor protection plan and 6 months famous cash financing with the purchase of your new Carrier system from Thermocon Service Company, your Texas Tough Carrier dealer.
Announcing the grand opening of LeBaron Furniture. LeBaron Furniture, formerly the Complete Bedroom.
Rest easy with LeBaron Furniture.
Well, welcome back to the final week of the regular season and to the final week of our regular edition of the locker room. But Jeff, we are planning on keeping the locker room open as long as teams from our area remain in the playoffs. I want to let folks know that.
Hey, it sounds like a good idea to me. What else? I mean, football is where it's at, and we're going to be here.
Yeah, we did it last year. As long as there's local teams, we're going to keep the locker room open.
Yeah, we are. That sounds good to me. Hey,
take it off.
I got no arguments with that. Talk about West Orange Strike at P&G now. A big game last year at this point, but what a difference.
Tomorrow's your day to buy furniture.
And the start of Weberg's greatest two-day sale.
Special store hours. Tomorrow, noon to 9. Sunday, 11 to 5.
Free financing. No payments or interest for 6 months.
It'll be a little hectic and a little crowded, but great sales always are.
Prices slashed on an incredible selection.
It's tomorrow and Sunday only.
Doors open Saturday at 12 noon.
Shop till you drop till 9 p.m.
Weberg's two-day sale.
It's the greatest.
With the lowest prices anywhere. Guaranteed.
It is every parent's nightmare. A stranger tricks your child into getting into his car. A family friend molests your youngster, threatening dire consequences if the child tells. A teenager is seduced by drugs into pornography or prostitution. There is positive action you can take to prevent crimes against your children. If you are a parent or have children you love, you can't afford to miss Child Lures, a 10-part series with reporter John Gratafiore. Beginning Monday at 6 on Channel 6 News.
Lynn couldn't tell her parents everything that happened on her dates.
You're afraid that your parents say you can't see him anymore.
Jenny's parents thought she dated a nice boy. So you stabbed her the first time, and what happened?
I just kept going.
I've got to know if Jenny suffered. What were her last moments like?
As I can remember, she didn't suffer.
You mean she just died?
What you don't know about teen dating. Next, Oprah.
Monday at 4 on KFDM Channel 6.
Okay, deer hunters, if you're not already asleep, this is for you. The forecast for dawn 30.
All right, they say that's perfect conditions. They wanted the cold weather. They kept saying, when's it going to be cold? And I hope it's for deer season. Well, you have it. Lows will be in the upper 30s, low 40s. And high tomorrow about 55. Real cold nights coming up Saturday night will be near freezing.
And
Very
for the
close.
Beaumont Bowl tomorrow?
55 or 6 at kickoff, and kind of a breeze out north by 15 miles an hour. Really a pretty good day, sunny skies.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Finally tonight, the jokes about Hamburger Helper are pretty stale by now, and General Mills still isn't amused.
That company is suing the maker of a gag product called Roadkill Helper for trademark infringement. The president of a firm called Gag Foods says he got the idea for Roadkill Helper when he and his son saw a squashed animal on a highway. The family had just seen National Lampoon's Vacation, that 1983 movie starring Chevy Chase, that included several jokes about Hamburger Helper. Roadkill Helper contains about a penny's worth of macaroni and comes in a box that resembles Hamburger Helper. In a lawsuit filed last month, General Mills said consumers will be confused by the products.
Ugh. That's it for us for tonight. Have a great weekend and stay tuned. The high school football scoreboard is next.
Have a good one. Good night, everybody.
Priority for the majority of Texans is superiority. No other truck, that's for sure. It's Ford, the Truck Authority.
You've always considered your Texas Ford dealer the authority on toughness, and now you can consider them an authority on safety, too. In addition to rear anti-lock brakes, you'll now find a driver's side airbag standard in all F-150 pickups, including super cabs. One more reason why your Texas Ford dealer is the Truck Authority.
Right now at Market Basket, Tab Sprite or Coke 6-pack $1.19. Parade Sugar 4-pound bag only $1.29. Now at locally owned Market Basket.
Hi, I'm Grace Trahan. Coming up Monday on the Channel 6 Morning News, Helping Private Education. We'll tell you how you can lend a helping hand to help a private school in Beaumont expand. And stay tuned, coming up later.
I'm Harry Smith. He has won an Oscar for Best Actor. He might just do it again. We'll talk with Anthony Hopkins. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
Join us for the Channel 6 Morning News, Monday morning at 6:30 on KFDM Channel 6. It's breakfast for your head.
The heat is on. Beaumont Bowl tomorrow.
Believe it or not, the 10th and final week of the high school football scoreboard show is coming up.
Thomas Jefferson dives into deer season, hoping to keep Deer Park from the playoffs.
It's Silsbee in Jasper, first place on the line in 23-4A. Also a former Jasper product, playing catch and run in Waco.
Stephen F. Austin looks for the unbeaten season against Newton. Dan Hooks and company battle the Indians and West Orange.
So come as you are.
Nice boots, Greg.
Hey, thanks a lot. There's no time for chit-chat, much like this. It's time for football.
No bull. Scoreboard is next.
The High School Football Scoreboard is sponsored by IBEW Local 479 and JK Chevrolet. Now, here's Greg Kerr and Mike Sadie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. It took 10 weeks, but the drama has finally been played out as far as the 1993 schoolboy playoffs are concerned. It goes down to a final week, a lot of drama in a couple of districts.
Can you believe it's over, though? I mean, it was
can't
the quickest 10 weeks of my life. But anyway, like Greg said, it came down a lot of drama, but only 2 playoff spots remained up for grabs, one of them in 22-5A, and that's where we start tonight. For Central, they needed a win by Deer Park, or, a win by Thomas Jefferson over Deer Park to get into the playoffs. If the Deer win, they would get in. So let's go out to Deer Park and find out what happened. Enough with the suspense. Deer Park playing host to Thomas Jefferson. The Jackets already up 7-zip, but here come the Deer. They flip it to the outside, and Russell Medley tiptoes the sideline for a 25-yard touchdown. That ties the game at 7 apiece. But back comes TJ. A lot of people said they wouldn't play all out in this game, but they did tonight. That's Damon West, little screen pass to Elijah Berkins. And watch Berkins make a miss. The 32-yard touchdown, and he takes out the ref to boot, but like a good referee, he gets up and makes the call. They missed the PAT. It was 13-7 to TJ. Deer, they go to the air. And with Deer season coming up tomorrow, where else would they go? Daniel Hoy, the pretty spiral to Brian White. He gets behind TJ's keto means. It goes for 52 yards and the touchdown. TJ up for good in this one, and they're rocking in the stands over in Deer Park as the Deer are headed to the playoffs. They beat TJ tonight. Let's take it to the scoreboard, 27-13. Deer Park improves to 5-2 in the district. Thomas Jefferson 5-2 in the district. But more importantly, for the people around Beaumont, the Central Jags will be staying home because they couldn't get it done last week, and Thomas Jefferson couldn't pull off the game tonight. 27-13, the Deer advance.
So out of 22-5A, LaPorte the champion, Deer Park and TJ also in the playoffs. Central left holding the bag, had a terrific season nonetheless, but as you mentioned, the last 2 weeks they faltered. So the Beaumont Bowl trophy tomorrow up for grabs between Westbrook and Central. Beaumont Bowl number 8. These teams go in with nothing more than city pride riding in this ball game. Series standing now. Westbrook leads at 4-3. The Bruins have won 2 consecutive games, and we have these comments from tomorrow's players in the game.
It meant a lot to him, you know, this bragging rights through all through next season, through the basketball season, through everything, you know. And we ain't won in 2 years, and I think it's time for that trophy to come back to Central.
Crosstown rival, so everybody, all the hype and everything, and I know all my teammates want to win. I know I want to win too, and hopefully we can just beat Central and knock them out the playoffs, because we're not going, so we don't want them to go either.
Just the fact that this is the Beaumont Bowl, and thousands of people are going to be out watching us, and it's for the town rivalry, you know, the town respect, and that's what we're out to get right now.
I've been waiting for this game for a long time. It's like ever since I've been small, you know, that's all I thought about was playing for Westbrook, going to the playoffs, Beaumont Bowl. You know, this is like a dream come true to me. So, you know, I'm just going to go out there and do whatever has to be done.
And it's game time tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Westbrook and Central at Cardinal Stadium. If you can't make it out to the ballpark, join us live tomorrow, 1 o'clock right here on Channel 6 for Beaumont Bowl number 8, and the hardware is up for grabs between Westbrook and Central.
No one's taking it. It's right here, and we will let you make sure that nothing happens to it before tomorrow. And the winner of that ball game, like you said, Westbrook's had it the last 2 years. You heard the Central Jags say they want it back, and we'll find out tomorrow at Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, we will take care of it. It's been missing for the last 2 weeks, but who's keeping score, right?
Right. We have it right here. It's not going anywhere. Trust us.
So if you're keeping a score at 22-5A, you know LaPorte goes in, the champions, unbeaten in district play. They go to Vidor tonight. Vidor looking to salvage something out of the season. Winless going into week number 10. Ashley Adams is sacked by number 76, Yusuf Scott of the Tennessee Volunteer, looking like LaPorte Bulldogs. Later on, Jeremy Lawrence on the keep. Yes, he keeps here. Touchdown for LaPorte. Right there you see the evidence, 7-0 Bulldogs. Now to the second, Lawrence, this time to Chris Anderson. Anderson, about 6'5", can do a lot with a football. 20 yards for LaPorte, first down. Lawrence this time going deep to the end zone, but good D by number 21, Tim Franklin of the Vidor Bulldogs, knocking it away. No TDs, so The Bulldogs will settle for a field goal. Mike Waddle from 38 yards. It is good. And LaPorte takes a 10-0 halftime lead. Viter hanging in there. Jay Law had to like that. But in the third quarter, Lawrence will find Anderson again. This time good for 13 yards. And Lawrence, this guy is a good football player. Jeremy Lawrence for the LaPorte Bulldogs. A keep touchdown to make it 17-0. Let's go to the final scoreboard here as LaPorte will finish 9-1. Viter 0-10 this year. Shut out tonight by LaPorte 24-0.
And a lot of people, you ask them in 22-5A or 5A around the state, they do believe this LaPorte team can go a long way because not only can they run the football, but you saw Jeremy Lawrence passing the football as well. One other game, the Battle of Baytown. Sterling taking on Lee. And this one won by the Ganders. Oh, what a rivalry that is. Won by a field goal, 15-12 over the range.
You know, the Ganders, I believe, lost 22 consecutive district games going into the season. They win at Westbrook, and they finished the season tonight beating their crosstown rival Sterling. So a nice finish for the Ganders at Baytown Lake.
And they'll be ready for next year, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Coming up next, where are they now? And you Jasper Bulldogs better buckle up and roll those VCRs.
Now a Beaumont Bowl moment. Let's go back to the first game ever, 1986. Robin Thomas of the Westbrook Bruins will find a hole, breaks a tackle or two, and he is gone. Thomas for 47 yards, the first Beaumont Bowl touchdown. Hey, Robin, do you remember that great moment from Beaumont Bowl history? 1986. Back in a moment.
Today, I'll demonstrate how to prepare Church's spicy wings. Start with marinated wings. Add in my secret blend of zesty spices cooked to crispy perfection. They're hot, I mean really hot. Right now, you can get your choice of 6 wings and fries or a 30-piece party pack. They're Church's spicy wings, and I'm the 30-second chef, and that's cooking.
They got a lot of what I like. Church's!
Can I get some water here? Come on, I'm dying.
It seems like you just can't pick up a newspaper or car magazine without reading about the tremendous advantages of the all-new Chevy S10 pickup. Now those advantages, plus the savings and rock-solid reputation for fair dealing you trust at JK Chevrolet, makes for one heck of a buy. Now, JK has a full selection of S10, starting at just $10,999, and they all come with JK's rock-solid standard of satisfaction. So come on in today and save at JK Chevrolet at the airport.
Oriental Rugs. Beautiful, versatile, stunning in any room. No other purchase will enhance the elegance of your home quite like a handmade rug. Georgetown Manor is proud to bring you one of the largest collections ever made available to the public of fine Persian and Chinese rugs. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and all at 30 to 50% savings. Tim Anderson of the Anderson Collection in San Francisco will be in the store to give expert advice and assist you in your selection. Make your investment in beauty at Georgetown Manor, 4755 East X Freeway, 1 mile south of Parkdale Mall, Beaumont.
Welcome back to the show. A year ago, Jasper wins 23-4A. This year, the Bulldogs woke up just in time. The situation tonight facing the Jasper Bulldogs, they had to win by 2 points or more to get into the playoffs and win the district.
But you know what happens? They did it last year, like you said, but if they win by 18, they take the district title outright. And they came to play tonight. Tony Gilbert to Alton Scott, the big gainer for Jasper. Unfortunately, Silsby played some serious defense on the drive and kept him out of the end zone. When you talk about Silsby, you talk about their money man, and here he is, Jay McGuire, Mr. Everything all season long, second best 4A runner in the state, and here he picks up a big chunk of yardage, 37 yards to be exact, inside the Jasper 15-yard line. And when you key on Jay McGuire, they give it to somebody else. Stanley Roan right up the gut, 22 yards, and it's 7-0 Silsby. Cedric Spearman, they can also throw the football, and this is what's got defenses worried about in 4A. Cedric Spearman to Jay McGuire, who comes up out of the backfield, and he'll go in for the touchdown, except penalty calls it back. No points. Still 7-0 into the second quarter, and the Jasper Bulldogs, they knew what they had to do. And Gilbert this time goes to Lawrence Smith, the big gainer. Then he'll roll out by a lot of time from that Silsby defense, and he'll go deep for Alton Scott again. Alton Scott makes the catch, steps out of bounds, and that sets up Alan Spots. He'll connect on the field goal to put Jasper on the board. It was 7-3. And Jasper will get it done in the second half because if we take it to the scoreboard, they shut down that high-powered Silsby offense. They did it last year. They did it this year. And this score, 17-7 Jasper Bulldogs, is unfortunate for Cleveland because now Silsby and Jasper are headed to the playoffs. The Cleveland Indians are not.
Yeah, Jasper goes into the playoffs with a record of 5-5.
But 4-1 in district, and Gene
exactly
Wachowiak
right.
always says his Bulldogs play the best football in district play, and they got it done tonight in Cleveland at Livingston. They knew if they won, they'd go in Of course, if Jasper lost to Silsbee, they do their part. They shut out the Lions 17-0, but all for naught as Jasper goes, as do the Silsbee Tigers. Elsewhere, Lumberton over Dayton tonight, 24-7. Lumberton ends the year 4-6, 2-3 in District 24 3A.
In 24-4A, it was all academic. West Orange Stark and Nederland are going to play another week. Tonight, P&G goes over to West Orange Stark, and last year the Indians won this district. Different story this year. P&G way down while West Orange Stark, no penalty, no suspensions, none of that kind of stuff, no forfeitures of games. They did it tonight in a resounding fashion over P&G. That's Jay Engel, though, 35 yards. That had Dan Hooks a little hot under the collar. Carlton Allen, though, big defensive play here for the Mustangs with the pickoff into the end zone, touchback. Mustangs take over. Eric Anderson, what a sensational sophomore season Anderson has had. He will quarterback draw it. No better. Couldn't draw it up any better on the board. Anderson, 65 yards.
And, you know, when you got Kendall Cleveland in the backfield, you got a bunch of defenses keying on him, and Anderson will take it up the gut. He's done it the past 2 weeks. Got it done tonight.
Kendall Cleveland airborne for the touchdown to make it 27-10 West Orange Stark. Some bad news here. Jay Engel on the carry. He's down with an apparent broken leg. That's as far as we know in that situation. Let's go to the final score. As West Orange Stark wins it resoundingly over P&G 42-10. Mustangs close out 9-1, 5-0 in district.
Ironically, P&G, like you said, won the district last year. This year they end the district down at the very bottom. We talked about at the beginning of the year they lost 40 Letterman. Tim Owen will have to regroup and get them ready. They got you choked up, don't they?
On week number 10, I'll tell you.
That's 24-4A, more action, and like Greg said, it was academic, but there still was games to be played. Bridge City and LCM, those fighting, battling Bears wanted to go out on a winning note, but so did Bridge City on this night. Josh Smalley can't find anyone open, so he keeps it right up the gut, 22 yards. When he's finally tackled, he's inside the LCM 10, but no points for the Cards. But it's the last week of the season, so you do everything. You go into your bag of tricks. The reverse from Chad Cassette to TJ Knight. TJ will make it all the way to the 12-yard line of the fighting battling Bears. That's a 20-yard pickup for TJ Knight. A couple of plays later as they're dancing on the sidelines over there at LCM. Smalley keeps it around right end, and why do anything else with it when you have a clean shot at the end zone? That's the touchdown, and Bridge City would make it stand up as the Bridge City Cardinals. Well, that should be the other way around from what I understand. Bridge City, well, let's tell you, Bridge City won that game 10-6.
Okay.
Bridge City, the Cardinals, winning it 10-6 over LCM tonight, and we'll check that to me. We'll check that for you later. And Greg told you about Nederland and Lincoln. That game will take place on Saturday. But we all know that. Okay, from what I understand, the Bridge City score was correct. My fault. Bridge City losing 10-6 to LCM. But there you see it Saturday at Lincoln and Nederland. That will take place over at Memorial Stadium in Port Arthur.
Okay, when we come back, more scores and highlights, including SFA's attempt to make it a perfect season.
Plus, where are they now? A former Jasper Bulldog playing football in Wake.
Right now at Market Basket, Parade tomato sauce, 6 cans for $1. Heinz ketchup, big 32-ounce jug, 59 cents. Now at locally owned Market Basket.
Never before have critics unanimously declared one movie so widely imaginative and wonderfully wicked as Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I am the Pumpkin King!
Rolling Stone calls it an animated funhouse for eek freaks. You have never seen anything like this. It blends the most likable aspects of Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, and Batman. Don't miss the most weird and wonderful movie ever. The Nightmare Before Christmas, rated PG, now playing at a theater near you.
Welcome back to the show. A lot of football left still to show you, but one of our favorite segments, Where Are They Now? And you did a little bit of traveling, didn't you?
It's our final one. Where Are They Now? Takes us to Waco. Ben Bronson has gone from the football fields of Jasper to the big time of Baylor Bear football. Bronson has become a big hit in Waco.
But it is a touchdown! Ben Bronson.
Ben Bronson has been one of those rare golden finds coaches occasionally stumble across while recruiting the junior college circuit. All conference at Tyler JC, Bronson caught the eye of Baylor's Chuck Reedy. and Reedy knew Bronson could supply immediate help as a pass catcher.
And gone to junior college and proven himself. You know, he was quite heavily recruited, you know, out of Tyler. And, but we felt like he was a guy that could come right in and help us.
I'm very happy I went junior college route. You know, I wasn't able to go 4 year out of it because of the SAT, ACT, or whatever. But you know, I learned a lot in junior college.
Joe off the play fake, hangs it up deep for Ben Bronson. Touchdown, Baylor.
Lesson learned. Bronson is now applying himself as the big play guy with the Bears. Matter of fact, Bronson is teaching a few lessons himself, like man-on-man coverage 101. Don't get burned by the man from Jasper.
He's a great receiver, real soft hands, and he'll be another guy that'll be something to watch next year because he only has 2 years. You know?
I was looking at that, me coming in being a big play man, me thinking that I had more experience over other guys because I was at junior college. And yeah, that's basically the reason I came. And plus, you know, get a good education from Baylor.
Ben will make the best of his stay in Waco, trading in his football gear for a baseball uniform in the spring.
I look at me having another great year here at Baylor next year. And I also play baseball, so I'm going to see what I do in baseball this year, next year. Let's go from there.
Now, 3 years ago, Bronson was a sidearm throwing, game-breaking quarterback at Jasper High. Bronson remembers fondly his days running the Bulldogs offense.
You know, back in Jasper, I was always a quarterback. I never played receiver until I started college. And, winning in Jasper, you know, it's very big. You know.
Now, Ben has been away from the Southeast Texas schoolboy scene for a while, but still fresh in his mind. Those Friday nights when Jasper and West Orange Stark would get together for a little friendly rivalry.
Yeah, well, we had a thing with West Orange. We didn't hate them. It was always something where we couldn't beat them. Turnovers or whatever. We just couldn't beat West Orange.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them. Both Jasper and West Orange Stark will be in the 4A playoffs this year, so Ben Bronson will be a happy guy.
And check it, they might be playing in that first round, 23 4A runner-up against 24 4A champion, Jasper West Orange Stark.
But Jasper's the champion in 23 4A?
No, they come as the runner-up.
Okay, Silsby wins.
Exactly. So look at it next week. But anyway, 24 3A. Stephen F. Austin, the Eagles looking to go 10-0, a perfect regular season. And to do it, they'd have to beat preseason prediction to win it all, the Newton Eagles. But we know how good preseason predictions are. The middle screen, Chad Johnson to Daryl Richard. And this was really Richard's night. He follows his blocks perfectly. When it's all said and done, it's a 53-yard touchdown for SFA, except when the referee does that, it means illegal motion, no touchdown, SFA. One small problem, the illegal motion. They had problems with penalties. Newton had trouble holding on to the football. The turnover by Raymond Thomas. He gains 9, loses the football a few plays later. Richard, this time he goes in from 14 yards out. And DJ, don't worry, there's no laundry on the field on this play. It was touchdown, SFA, up 7-0.
What was the story with the turnovers now for Newton in this ball game?
They just cannot hold on to the football. 7 times, they fumbled it. 6 times, SFA recovered. After another one of those turnovers, that's Richard again, this time from 30 yards out. It was 13-0, and this is what it was all about. Quarterback sacked, run over really. Another turnover, and that was right before halftime when it looked like it was going to be a pretty close game. And then quarterback Chad Johnson on the keep somehow finds his way into the end zone, made it 21-0 SFA right before halftime, and Chad getting congratulated by his parents, and rightfully so. Stephen F. Austin, number 9 in the state, wraps up the regular season a perfect 10-0 with a 39-6 whitewashing of the Newton Eagles.
Bruce Levinson was in Port Arthur tonight for the Newton SFA game, and Bruce has our post-game report. Bruce?
Greg, Mike, if someone had gone up to SFA head coach Richard Marler before the season started and said, on November 5th, you guys will beat perennial power Newton for the first time in 7 years, and your record will stand at 10-0, the only undefeated and untied team in the Golden Triangle area, I imagine you might have had a hard time believing that one. But you know what? We got him standing right here, so let's ask him. Coach, would you guys have a hard time at the beginning of the year believing that you guys could go 10-0?
Well, Jamie, what do you think? Now, I tell you, our kids came to two-a-days. It was a rebuilding year, and they came in with a good attitude, ready to work. We knew we had a great quarterback coming back. We didn't know about all these sophomores, how good they were going to play. Our senior leadership has really come along, and they've meshed with our younger kids, and you know, you start the season saying you're going to win every game. Everybody does that. But yeah, it's a surprise. We were picked in the middle of the pack, and gosh, I couldn't be proud of a bunch of guys and school and granddaughter and everybody around.
Well, how sweet is it for you guys to finally beat Newton after 7 years?
Well, it's nice. I tell you what, you know, I'd almost forgot the first 3 times we played Newton, we beat them, and then we went into a streak there where we couldn't beat them. It couldn't even come close to them. So this was a good win tonight. It's a good win for our kids and our school, and I'm just really proud of them.
Well, now can you start thinking and talking about next week in the playoffs?
Right. We're going to reset our goals. You know, we talked before the game how we wanted to be 10-0. Now then our next goal is to be 6-0. We have a new season starting, and that's the playoffs. So our guys are going to get together tomorrow, and we'll start working on the next opponent, and that's Hampshire Finette next Friday at Fort Natchez.
Well, Coach, good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for joining us.
We really appreciate it.
Sure thing. Let's talk to a couple more of those guys. We got standing right here, running back DJ Richards. DJ ran for over 100 yards tonight. DJ, you're just a sophomore, but you look like you're a heck of a lot older out there on the field.
Well, ain't much I can say about that.
Of course, but you went over 100 yards tonight. Newton, perennial power in the district, but you guys showed that you guys are perennial power now as well, huh?
Yes, the field was kind of muddy, and we just kept our heads together and played good. The line blocked well and held off their blocks, and I was able to get some yards.
How exciting is it for you, DJ, to be part of a district champion team?
Real exciting at this moment.
Okay, well, good luck to you the rest of the way. Let's talk to your quarterback now. Chad Johnson. Chad, why don't you come on here and join us? Chad, great effort out there tonight, and actually a great season. You got to be real excited.
Yeah, we're real excited. We came out here tonight knowing that we can go 10-0. At the beginning of the season, we was having doubts about how we were going to perform. We came out during 2 days and really practiced real hard, and we came out tonight and just showed what we have.
How good do you think this team can be now that the second season is starting?
If we keep our heads together and play as a team, we can be real good. I believe we can go to state playoffs.
All right, now the Westbrook Jinx, they were 10-0 the last 2 seasons in a row, and they lost the first round of the playoffs. You guys going to talk about that at all, you think?
Oh, no, you ain't going to talk about that. You're just going to talk about your next opponent. That's Hampshire Finette. We're just going to go out Monday, practice hard, and just do what we have to do.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the way, Chad. We'll be following you. Well, that's the story from out here. Final score, 39-6. SFA now the champions of District 24 3A, and they move on to the first round of the playoffs next week, where they'll meet Hampshire Finette at P&G High School's 7:30 kickoff. Greg and Mike, back to you.
Thanks very much, Bruce. Elsewhere in 24-3A, they got to change some of these mascots. Another set of Eagles, Woodville. They're also going to the playoffs. Well, they'll face, well, we don't know right now. Well, Woodville 23-20 over the Kirbyville Wildcats. They end the year 6-1 in district, 6-3-1 overall. Elsewhere in 24-3A, Buna loses to Hardin Jefferson tonight, 30-28, and Coons trying to find their first win of the season, lose to the Orangefield Bobcats, 46-12.
Now to 23-3A Huffman and Hampshire Finette. Hampshire Finette will look back on this season to 1 penetration. It cost them. They'll go in as runners-up out of 23-3A. First quarter tonight against the Huffman Falcons. Sean Donahoe for 15 yards. Terrific run there. Finally dragged down, but cost him 15 for Huffman. Later on, Donahoe for 2 yards to make it 7-0. Barry Sterling will go to the air, but Barry is intercepted by Brad Murphy of Huffman, who takes it back for about 10 yards. But Brian Robinson will give it right back to the Longhorns. Number 84, Jason Leday with a pickoff. Next play, Jermaine Spikes. This is one terrific run by Jermaine Spikes, who will take it 36 yards for the Longhorn touchdown to make it 14-0. Now to the second quarter, Spikes again from 2 yards on the sweep. 21-0 at that point. Hampshire Finette will win this ball game and finish 8-1-1, defeating Huffman 41-16. Liberty tonight, a winner over Tarkington 44-0. Liberty will go into the playoffs, the champion out of 23-3A. They will take on Woodville next week, while Hampshire Finette meets SFA. Also, Anahuac a winner over Barbers Hill 34-14.
More ahead, like the small town.